This session is about the United States Constitution, the supreme law of the land. Nothing sits above it. We will cover what the Constitution does, the words it opens with, how it changes through amendments, how many amendments there are, and what the Bill of Rights is. Question: what is the supreme law of the land? The accepted answer is the Constitution. Supreme and Constitution both start strong. The Constitution is the supreme law. Supreme law means the highest law. No law can go above the Constitution. Question: what does the Constitution do? The accepted answer is sets up the government, defines the government, protects basic rights of Americans. The Constitution sets up the government. Say sets up, the 2008 wording. The Constitution builds the government and protects your rights. 2008 wording, sets up, say it that way. Question: the idea of self-government is in the first three words of the Constitution. What are these words? The accepted answer is we the people. We the people. 3 words. The people hold the power. The Constitution starts with we the people. The people hold the power. Question: what is an amendment? The accepted answer is a change to the Constitution. An addition to the Constitution. Amend equals a change or an addition. One word covers both. An amendment is a change or an addition to the Constitution. Question: what do we call the first 10 amendments to the Constitution? The accepted answer is the Bill of Rights. First 10 amendments, Bill of Rights. No more, no less. First 10 amendments, Bill of Rights. Question: how many amendments does the Constitution have? The accepted answer is 27. 27. 27 amendments. 2 plus 7, the lucky changes. Say the number out loud, the test is oral. 27 changes in total. The first 10 are the Bill of Rights, but the answer here is 27, not 10. Question: what is the rule of law? The accepted answer is everyone must follow the law. Leaders must obey the law. Government must obey the law. No one is above the law. Rule of law: nobody is above the law, not even leaders. Even leaders and the government must follow the law. The most common mistake in this module, saying the Constitution has 10 amendments. 10 is only the Bill of Rights. The full count is 27. Also keep the supreme law, the Constitution, separate from the rule of law, which says everyone, even leaders, must obey it. Summary: the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. It begins with we the people. An amendment is a change or addition. There are 27 amendments total, and the rule of law means no one, not even leaders, is above the law. The flashcard deck ahead drills every one of these. Quick self-check before we drill the cards. Without looking, try to answer this in your head. What is the supreme law of the land? Picture your answer, then the cards will confirm it. If it came easily, great. If not, that is exactly what to watch for. Let us lock it in. This session covers the Declaration of Independence and your first freedoms. We will cover what the Declaration did, 2 rights it named, freedom of religion, 1 First Amendment freedom, and the United States economic system. Question: what is one right or freedom from the First Amendment? The accepted answer is speech, religion, assembly, press, petition the government. 1 First Amendment freedom is enough. Speech, religion, press, assembly, or petition. 1 word is enough. Say, speech. Question: what did the Declaration of Independence do? The accepted answer is announced our independence from Great Britain. Declared our independence from Great Britain. Said that the United States is free from Great Britain. The Declaration announced freedom from Great Britain. 1 sentence, 3 ways to say it. The Declaration 1776 announced America's freedom from Great Britain. Question: what are 2 rights in the Declaration of Independence? The accepted answer is life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. LLH, pick any 2. Say 2, life and liberty. Question: what is freedom of religion? The accepted answer is you can practice any religion or not practice a religion. Freedom of religion equals practice any religion or none at all. Any religion or no religion. Both halves matter. Practice the full sentence aloud. Question: what is the economic system in the United States? The accepted answer is capitalist economy, market economy. Capitalist or market economy, people and companies own the businesses. People and companies, not the government, own most businesses. The classic trap here: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness comes from the Declaration of Independence, not the Constitution. The Declaration announced our freedom from Great Britain in 1776. The Constitution built the government structure in 1787. Different documents, different jobs. Summary: the Declaration of Independence announced our independence from Great Britain. Two of its rights are life and liberty, or the pursuit of happiness. Freedom of religion means you can practice any religion or none at all. The economic system of the United States is a capitalist or market economy. Now drill the deck. Quick self-check before we drill the cards. Without looking, try to answer this in your head. What is one right or freedom from the First Amendment? Picture your answer. Then the cards will confirm it. If it came easily, great. If not, that is exactly what to watch for. This short session covers the three branches or parts of government. What stops one branch from becoming too powerful? And who leads the executive branch? Question: name one branch or part of the government. The accepted answer is Congress, legislative, president, executive, the courts, judicial. Name one branch: Congress, president, or the courts. Legislative, executive, judicial. One is enough. Say Congress or the president. Question: what stops one branch of government from becoming too powerful? The accepted answer is checks and balances. Separation of powers. Checks and balances / separation of powers stop any one branch from getting too strong. Power is split, and each branch checks the others, so no one part gets too strong. Question: who is in charge of the executive branch? The accepted answer is the president. Executive branch equals the president's branch. Executive equals the president's branch. The trap here is assuming one branch, usually the president, runs the whole government. It does not. Power is deliberately split three ways, and checks and balances, also called separation of powers, is what stops any one part from becoming too powerful. Summary: the three branches or parts of government are Congress or the legislative branch, the president or the executive branch, and the courts or the judicial branch. Checks and balances, or separation of powers, stops any one branch from becoming too powerful. The president is in charge of the executive branch. Now, drill the cards. Quick self-check before we drill the cards. Without looking, try to answer this in your head. Name one branch or part of the government. Picture your answer, then the cards will confirm it. If it came easily, great. If not, that is exactly what to watch for. Let's lock it in. Congress makes federal laws. It has two parts, the Senate and the House of Representatives. This session covers how many of each, how long they serve, and who they represent. Question: who makes federal laws? The accepted answer is Congress, Senate and House of Representatives, U.S. or national legislature. Congress makes the federal laws, Senate and House together. Question: what are the two parts of the U.S. Congress? The accepted answer is the Senate and House of Representatives. Two parts of Congress, Senate and House of Representatives. Two chambers, the Senate 100 and the House 435. Question: how many U.S. senators are there? The accepted answer is 100. 100 senators, 2 per state, 50 states. 2 senators times 50 states equals 100. Question: we elect a U.S. senator for how many years? The accepted answer is 6. Senators serve 6 years. Senators, 6. Same as sound. Senators serve 6 years. Senators equals 6. Question: the House of Representatives has how many voting members? The accepted answer is 435. 435. 435 voting House members. 435 voting members in the House. Question: we elect a U.S. representative for how many years? The accepted answer is 2. Representatives serve 2 years. Short terms, close to voters. House members serve 2 years. Senators 6. Question: who does a U.S. senator represent? The accepted answer is all people of the state. A senator represents all the people of the state. Senators speak for their whole state, all the people in it. Question: why do some states have more representatives than other states? The accepted answer is because of the state's population, because they have more people, because some states have more people. More population equals more representatives for that state. More people in the state equals more representatives. The top trap in this module is swapping Senate and House numbers. Anchor it this way. The Senate has 100 members, 6-year terms, and each senator represents all the people of the state. The House has 435 voting members, 2-year terms, and more populous states get more representatives. Summary: Congress makes federal laws through its 2 chambers, the Senate and the House of Representatives. There are 100 senators serving 6-year terms, and 435 voting House members serving 2-year terms. A senator represents all the people of the state. States with more people get more representatives. Now drill the deck. Quick self-check before we drill the cards. Without looking, try to answer this in your head. How many U.S. senators are there? Picture your answer. Then the cards will confirm it. If it came easily, great. If not, that is exactly what to watch for. This session covers the presidency, the length of a term, the month we vote, who becomes president if the president or vice president can no longer serve, the president's powers, and what the cabinet does. Question: we elect a president for how many years? The accepted answer is 4. President serves 4 years per term. 1 presidential term equals 4 years. Question: in what month do we vote for president? The accepted answer is November. Vote for president in November. Presidential elections are in November. Question: if the president can no longer serve, who becomes president? The accepted answer is the vice president. If the president can't serve, the vice president steps up next. The vice president is next in line. Question: if both the president and the vice president can no longer serve, who becomes president? The accepted answer is the Speaker of the House. Second in line after the Vice President is the Speaker of the House, a 2-step chain from 2008. The Speaker of the House is second in line. This 2-step chain is a 2008 bank question. Drill Q30 and Q31 as a pair. Question: who is the Commander-in-Chief of the military? The accepted answer is the President. Commander-in-Chief of the military equals the President. Question: who signs bills to become laws? The accepted answer is the President. The President signs bills into law. Congress writes bills, the President signs them into law. Question: who vetoes bills? The accepted answer is the President. The President vetoes bills. A veto is a no. Veto equals the President says no to a bill. Question: what does the President's cabinet do? The accepted answer is advises the President. The cabinet advises the President. 1 verb covers it. The cabinet gives advice to the President. 1 verb, advises. Question: what are 2 cabinet-level positions? The accepted answer is Secretary of Agriculture, Secretary of Commerce, Secretary of Defense, Secretary of Education, Secretary of Energy, Secretary of Health and Human Services, Secretary of Homeland Security, Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, Secretary of the Interior, Secretary of Labor, Secretary of State, Secretary of Transportation, Secretary of the Treasury, Secretary of Veterans Affairs, Attorney General, Vice President. 2 cabinet posts, easy pair. Secretary of State and Attorney General. 2008 list includes Secretary of Defense. Name any 2. Easy pair, Secretary of State plus Attorney General. Note, this 2008 list says Secretary of Defense. The 2025 bank's differently worded longer list is not valid here. 2 traps to watch. First, if the president cannot serve, the vice president becomes president. The Speaker of the House is second in line, only if both the president and vice president cannot serve. Drill Q30 and Q31 as a pair. Second, this bank's cabinet list uses the wording Secretary of Defense. Do not substitute any other phrasing. Summary: the president is elected for 4 years, and we vote in November. If the president can no longer serve, the vice president becomes president. If both cannot serve, the Speaker of the House is next. The president is commander-in-chief, signs bills into law, and can veto bills. The cabinet advises the president. You should be able to name 2 cabinet-level positions. Quick self-check before we drill the cards. Without looking, try to answer this in your head. If the president can no longer serve, who becomes president? Picture your answer. Then the cards will confirm it. If it came easily, great. If not, that is exactly what to watch for. Let us lock it in. This session covers what the judicial branch does, the highest court in the United States, and the split between federal-only and state-only powers. Question: what does the judicial branch do? The accepted answer is reviews laws, explains laws, resolves disputes, disagreements, decides if a law goes against the Constitution. The judicial branch reviews, explains, and resolves disputes about the law. Courts review, explain, and settle arguments about laws. Question: what is the highest court in the United States? The accepted answer is the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is the highest court. Supreme means highest. Supreme equals highest. The Supreme Court is the top court. Question: under our Constitution, some powers belong to the federal government. What is one power of the federal government? The accepted answer is to print money, to declare war, to create an army, to make treaties. Federal powers: print money, declare war, make an army, make treaties. Only Washington does these. Only Washington can print money or declare war. Question: under our Constitution, some powers belong to the states. What is one power of the states? The accepted answer is provide schooling and education, provide protection, police, provide safety, fire departments, give a driver's license, approve zoning and land use. State powers: schools, police, fire, driver's licenses, zoning. Your state runs these. Your state gives driver's licenses and runs schools. The trap here is assuming the federal government controls everything. It does not. A driver's license is a state power, along with schools and police. The federal government alone can print money, declare war, create an army, and make treaties. Summary: the judicial branch reviews laws, explains laws, and resolves disputes, including deciding if a law goes against the Constitution. The Supreme Court is the highest court. Federal-only powers include printing money and declaring war. State-only powers include schooling, police protection, and driver's licenses. Now drill the deck. Quick self-check before we drill the cards. Without looking, try to answer this in your head. What is the highest court in the United States? Picture your answer, then the cards will confirm it. If it came easily, great. If not, that is exactly what to watch for. Let us lock it in. This module is different from the others. It teaches a rule, not a fact. Several civics questions ask about current office holders: the President, Vice President, Speaker of the House, Chief Justice, and your own state's senators, representative, governor, and capital. All of these answers change with elections and appointments. The official BEG's own text tells you to check uscis.gov/citizenship/test updates, or to check the shared current facts data in this app. Never lock in a name today and assume it holds on your interview day. Always verify close to your interview. Question: who is one of your state's U.S. senators now? The accepted answer is, answers will vary. District of Columbia residents and residents of U.S. territories should answer that D.C. or the territory where the applicant lives has no U.S. senators. Your state's senators are a per-user answer. Learn yours, never a fixed name. Your answer depends on your state. Learn your 2 senators. Current value: updatable U5. Answers change. Verify before your interview. Your answer depends on your state. Slot U5. Name one of your state's 2 current U.S. senators. Official directory at senate.gov. D.C. and territory residents answer that D.C. or the territory has no U.S. senators. Never hardcode a name. Resolve at runtime from the shared current facts pipeline. Question: name your U.S. representative. The accepted answer is, answers will vary. Residents of territories with non-voting delegates or resident commissioners may provide the name of that delegate or commissioner. Also acceptable is any statement that the territory has no voting representatives in Congress. Your representative depends on your district. A per-user answer. Depends on your address, district. Current value: updatable U6. Answers change. Verify before your interview. Your answer depends on your address, slot U6. Find your representative at house.gov. Find your representative. Territory residents may name their delegate or resident commissioner. Never hardcode a name. Resolve at runtime. Question: what is the name of the President of the United States now? The accepted answer is visit uscis.gov/citizenship test updates for the name of the President of the United States. The President's name is a per-user, per-date answer, never hard-coded, always the one serving on your interview day. Changing answer, answer with the official serving on your interview day. Current value, updatable U1. Answers change. Verify before your interview at uscis.gov/citizenship test updates. The current value, slot U1, resolves from the shared current facts pipeline and is never hard-coded here. Answer with the official serving on your interview day. Question: what is the name of the Vice President of the United States now? The accepted answer is, visit uscis.gov/citizenship test updates for the name of the Vice President of the United States. The Vice President's name is a changing answer too. Same rule as the President. Changing answer. Current value, updatable U2. Answers change. Verify before your interview at uscis.gov/citizenship test updates. The current value, slot U2, resolves from the shared current facts pipeline and is never hard-coded here. Question: how many justices are on the Supreme Court? The accepted answer is, visit uscis.gov/citizenship test updates for the number of justices on the Supreme Court. The number of Supreme Court justices is treated as a changing fact in this bank. Never hard-code a number. The official answer is a number that USCIS treats as changeable. Learn the current number from the live data, not from an old book. Current value, updatable U9. Answers change. Verify before your interview at uscis.gov/citizenship test updates. The 2008 bank's official answer is a test updates pointer, not a fixed number. V6AF4. The current value, slot U9, resolves from the shared current facts pipeline and is never hard-coded here. Question: who is the Chief Justice of the United States now? The accepted answer is, visit uscis.gov/citizenship test updates for the name of the Chief Justice of the United States. The Chief Justice's name is a changing answer. Verify before the interview. Changing answer. Current value, updatable U4. Answers change. Verify before your interview at uscis.gov/citizenship test updates. The current value, slot U4, resolves from the shared current facts pipeline and is never hard-coded here. Question: who is the governor of your state now? The accepted answer is, answers will vary. District of Columbia residents should answer that DC does not have a governor. Your state's governor is a per-user answer. Learn yours. Learn your governor's name. Current value, updatable U7. Answers change. Verify before your interview. Your answer depends on your state. Slot U7. Current governors are listed at usa.gov/states and territories. DC residents answer that DC does not have a governor. Question: what is the capital of your state? The accepted answer is, answers will vary. District of Columbia residents should answer that DC is not a state and does not have a capital. Residents of U.S. territories should name the capital of the territory. Your state capital is a per-user answer. It may not be the biggest city. Learn your state capital. It may not be the biggest city. Per-user value, updatable U8. Answers change. Verify before your interview. Your answer depends on your state. Slot U8. State capitals are listed at usa.gov/states and territories. DC residents answer that DC is not a state and has no capital. Territory residents name the territory's capital. Never hard-code a value. Resolve at runtime. Question: what are the two major political parties in the United States? The accepted answer is, Democratic and Republican. Two major parties, Democratic and Republican. Say both. Democratic and Republican. Say both. Question: what is the political party of the president now? The accepted answer is, visit uscis.gov/citizenship test updates for the political party of the president. The president's political party is a changing answer. It follows whomever holds the office. Changing answer. It follows whomever is president. Current value, updatable, U10. Answers change. Verify before your interview at uscis.gov/citizenship test updates. The current value, slot U10, follows whomever holds the presidency and resolves from the shared current facts pipeline. Never hard-coded here. Question: what is the name of the Speaker of the House of Representatives now? The accepted answer is, visit uscis.gov citizenship test updates for the name of the Speaker of the House of Representatives. The Speaker of the House's name is a changing answer, can shift mid-term. Changing answer, the official bank itself points to the updates page. Current value, updatable U3. Answers change. Verify before your interview at uscis.gov/citizenship test updates. Speakers can change mid-term. The current value, slot U3, resolves from the shared current facts pipeline and is never hard-coded here. The single biggest trap in this module is answering with a name that used to be correct. The officer will not accept an incorrect answer, even if it was true last year. Always check uscis.gov's check for test updates page or this app's current facts data, close to your interview date. And remember, your senators, your representative, your governor, and your state's capital are personal to you. There is no one universal answer to memorize. Summary. This module has 10 questions whose official answer is a pointer to check the current facts, plus one fixed question. The two major political parties are Democratic and Republican. For everything else in this module, your job is to know which office is being asked about, and to verify the current name close to your interview. Now drill the deck. The cards will show you the same verify before you answer reminder for each one. Quick self-check before we drill the cards. Without looking, try to answer this in your head. What are the two major political parties in the United States? Picture your answer. Then the cards will confirm it. If it came easily, great. If not, that is exactly what to watch for. This session covers voting rights, the difference between citizen-only rights or responsibilities and rights that belong to everyone living here, the Pledge of Allegiance, and the promises you make when you become a citizen. Question. There are 4 amendments to the Constitution about who can vote. Describe one of them. The accepted answer is citizens 18 and older can vote. You don't have to pay a poll tax to vote. Any citizen can vote. Women and men can vote. A male citizen of any race can vote. 4 voting amendments. Easiest. Citizens 18 and older can vote. Easiest. Citizens 18 and older can vote. Question. What is one responsibility that is only for United States citizens? The accepted answer is serve on a jury, vote in a federal election. Citizen-only responsibilities, jury duty, or voting in a federal election. Only 2 answers. 2 choices only, jury duty or voting in a federal election. Question. Name one right only for United States citizens. The accepted answer is vote in a federal election. Run for federal office. Citizen-only rights. Vote in a federal election, or run for federal office. Citizens only. Vote in federal elections, or run for federal office. Question. What are 2 rights of everyone living in the United States? The accepted answer is freedom of expression, freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom to petition the government, freedom of religion, the right to bear arms. Everyone living here gets these: speech, assembly, religion, petition, press, bear arms, any 2. Name any 2. These belong to everyone living here, citizen or not. Question. What do we show loyalty to when we say the Pledge of Allegiance? The accepted answer is the United States, the flag. The Pledge of Allegiance shows loyalty to the United States and the flag. The pledge shows loyalty to the United States and the flag. Question. What is one promise you make when you become a United States citizen? The accepted answer is give up loyalty to other countries, defend the Constitution and laws of the United States, obey the laws of the United States, serve in the U.S. military if needed, serve, do important work for the nation if needed, be loyal to the United States. Naturalization promises obey the laws, defend the Constitution, serve if needed, give up other loyalties. Pick one, e.g., obey the laws of the United States. The most missed distinction in this module is rights that belong to everyone living in the United States versus rights and responsibilities that belong only to citizens. For the citizen-only responsibility question, there are only 2 acceptable answers: serve on a jury or vote in a federal election. Paying taxes is not one of them in this bank, even though it feels intuitive. Summary. The voting amendments cover citizens 18 and older, no poll tax, and any citizen regardless of sex or race. The only 2 citizen-only responsibilities in this bank are jury duty and voting in a federal election. Everyone living in the United States shares rights like freedom of speech and religion. Name any 2. And becoming a citizen means making a promise, such as obeying the laws of the United States. Quick self-check before we drill the cards. Without looking, try to answer this in your head. What is one responsibility that is only for United States citizens? Picture your answer. Then the cards will confirm it. If it came easily, great. If not, that is exactly what to watch for. Let us lock it in. This session covers the voting age for president, ways Americans participate in their democracy, the last day to file federal income tax forms, and when men must register for the Selective Service. Question: how old do citizens have to be to vote for president? The accepted answer is 18 and older. 18 and older to vote for president. 18 and older. Question: what are 2 ways that Americans can participate in their democracy? The accepted answer is vote, join a political party, help with a campaign, join a civic group, join a community group, give an elected official your opinion on an issue, call senators and representatives, publicly support or oppose an issue or policy, run for office, write to a newspaper. 2 ways to participate: vote and run for office, or many others. Pick any 2. Pick any 2. Vote and run for office. Question: when is the last day you can send in federal income tax forms? The accepted answer is April 15th. Federal tax day, April 15th. Tax day is April 15th. Question: when must all men register for the Selective Service? The accepted answer is at age 18. 18, between 18 and 26. 26. Selective Service registration, age 18 through 26. Selective Service equals the military draft list. Men register at 18, up to 26. This module has 3 numbers worth keeping straight. Citizens vote for president starting at 18, not 21. Men register for the Selective Service starting at 18, up to age 26. Registering is not the same as being drafted. And the last day to send in federal income tax forms is April 15th. Summary: citizens must be 18 or older to vote for president. You can participate in democracy many ways. Voting and running for office are 2 easy answers. Federal income tax forms are due April 15th, and men must register for the Selective Service at age 18, up to age 26. Quick self-check before we drill the cards. Without looking, try to answer this in your head. How old do citizens have to be to vote for president? Picture your answer. Then the cards will confirm it. If it came easily, great. If not, that is exactly what to watch for. Let's lock it in. This session moves into American history. One reason colonists came to America. Who lived here before Europeans arrived? What group was taken and sold as slaves? Why the colonists fought the British? Who wrote the Declaration of Independence and when it was adopted? And the names of the 13 original states. Question: what is one reason colonists came to America? The accepted answer is freedom, political liberty, religious freedom, economic opportunity, practice their religion, escape persecution. Colonists came for freedom. One word covers it. One word is enough. Freedom. Question: who lived in America before the Europeans arrived? The accepted answer is American Indians, Native Americans. American Indians, Native Americans lived here first. American Indians, Native Americans were here first. Question: what group of people was taken to America and sold as slaves? The accepted answer is Africans, people from Africa. Africans were taken to America and sold as slaves. Africans were taken and sold as slaves. Question: why did the colonists fight the British? The accepted answer is because of high taxes, taxation without representation. Because the British Army stayed in their houses, boarding, quartering. Because they didn't have self-government. Taxation without representation. The famous reason colonists fought the British. Famous phrase: taxation without representation. Taxes with no voice in government. Question: who wrote the Declaration of Independence? The accepted answer is Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson wrote the Declaration of Independence. Question: when was the Declaration of Independence adopted? The accepted answer is July 4th, 1776. July 4th, 1776, the Declaration's adoption date, and Independence Day. July 4th, 1776. That is why July 4th is Independence Day. Question: there were 13 original states. Name 3. The accepted answer is New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. 13 original states. A quick 3. New York, New Jersey, Virginia. A quick 3. New York, New Jersey, Virginia. 2008 asks for 3. The 2025 bank asks 5. Don't overstudy the count. The trap in this module: Thomas Jefferson wrote the Declaration of Independence, not George Washington. Washington's story is next. Remember the famous phrase for why colonists fought the British: taxation without representation, meaning they paid taxes but had no voice in government. Summary: colonists came to America for freedom. American Indians, also called Native Americans, lived here before Europeans arrived. Africans were taken to America and sold as slaves. The colonists fought the British over taxation without representation, among other reasons. Thomas Jefferson wrote the Declaration of Independence, adopted July 4, 1776. There were 13 original states. You only need to name 3. Quick self-check before we drill the cards. Without looking, try to answer this in your head. Why did the colonists fight the British? Picture your answer. Then the cards will confirm it. If it came easily, great. If not, that is exactly what to watch for. Let's lock it in. This session covers what happened at the Constitutional Convention, when the Constitution was written, who wrote the Federalist Papers, what Benjamin Franklin is known for, and who is called the father of our country and the first president. Question: what happened at the Constitutional Convention? The accepted answer is, the Constitution was written. The Founding Fathers wrote the Constitution. The Constitutional Convention, 1787, is where the Constitution was written. The meeting, 1787, where the Constitution was written. Question: when was the Constitution written? The accepted answer is 1787. 1776 is Declaration. 1787 is Constitution. 2 dates, don't swap them. 1776 is Declaration. 1787 is Constitution. Question: the Federalist Papers supported the passage of the U.S. Constitution. Name one of the writers. The accepted answer is James Madison, Alexander Hamilton, John Jay, or Publius. Federalist Papers writers: Madison, Hamilton, Jay. Pen name Publius. Madison, Hamilton, Jay, or their shared pen name Publius. Question: what is one thing Benjamin Franklin is famous for? The accepted answer is U.S. diplomat, oldest member of the Constitutional Convention, first Postmaster General of the United States, writer of Poor Richard's Almanac, started the first free libraries. Benjamin Franklin, diplomat, oldest convention member, first Postmaster General, Poor Richard's Almanac, first libraries, easiest, U.S. diplomat. Note: inventor is a 2025 bank answer. It is not on this 2008 list. Question: who is the father of our country? The accepted answer is George Washington. George Washington, the father of our country. George Washington, the father of our country. Question: who was the first president? The accepted answer is George Washington. George Washington, also the first president, same answer as Q69. George Washington, same man as Q69. 2 questions, 1 answer. Keep the dates straight. 1776 is the Declaration, 1787 is the Constitution. Publius was a shared pen name used by Madison, Hamilton, and Jay when writing the Federalist Papers. It is not a real person's name. And while Benjamin Franklin is famous for several things, being an inventor is not an acceptable answer in this particular bank. Finally, George Washington answers 2 separate questions: the father of our country and the first president. Summary: at the Constitutional Convention in 1787, the Founding Fathers wrote the Constitution. The Federalist Papers were written by Madison, Hamilton, and Jay, under the shared name Publius. Benjamin Franklin is famous for several things. U.S. diplomat is the easiest to remember. And George Washington is both the father of our country and the first president. Quick self-check before we drill the cards. Without looking, try to answer this in your head. Who is the father of our country? Picture your answer. Then the cards will confirm it. If it came easily, great. If not, that is exactly what to watch for. Let us lock it in. This session covers the 1800s, the Louisiana Purchase, wars fought in that century, the Civil War and what caused it, what Abraham Lincoln did, what the Emancipation Proclamation did, and what Susan B. Anthony did. Question: what territory did the United States buy from France in 1803? The accepted answer is the Louisiana Territory, Louisiana. The Louisiana Territory bought from France in 1803. The Louisiana Purchase from France, 1803. Question: name one war fought by the United States in the 1800s. The accepted answer is War of 1812, Mexican-American War, Civil War, Spanish-American War. An 1800s war. Easiest answer, the Civil War. Easiest, the Civil War. Question: name the U.S. war between the North and the South. The accepted answer is the Civil War, the war between the states. North versus South equals the Civil War or the war between the states. North versus South equals the Civil War. Question: name one problem that led to the Civil War. The accepted answer is slavery, economic reasons, states' rights. Civil War causes: slavery, economic reasons, states' rights. One word works: slavery. Question: what was one important thing that Abraham Lincoln did? The accepted answer is freed the slaves, Emancipation Proclamation, saved or preserved the Union, led the United States during the Civil War. Lincoln freed the slaves, saved the Union, led through the Civil War. Freed the slaves, led the country through the Civil War. Question: what did the Emancipation Proclamation do? The accepted answer is freed the slaves, freed slaves in the Confederacy, freed slaves in the Confederate States, freed slaves in most southern states. The Emancipation Proclamation freed slaves in the Confederacy, Lincoln's order that freed the slaves in the southern/Confederate states. Question: what did Susan B. Anthony do? The accepted answer is fought for women's rights, fought for civil rights. Susan B. Anthony fought for women's rights. Susan B. Anthony fought for women's rights. She is on a $1 coin. A common trap: the Emancipation Proclamation freed slaves in the Confederacy or the Confederate States, not instantly everywhere in the country. Also remember, the United States bought the Louisiana Territory from France in 1803. And Susan B. Anthony is remembered here for fighting for women's rights. Summary: in 1803, the United States bought the Louisiana Territory from France. The Civil War, fought between the North and the South, had slavery as one of its causes. Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves through the Emancipation Proclamation and led the country through the Civil War. Susan B. Anthony fought for women's rights. Quick self-check before we drill the cards. Without looking, try to answer this in your head. What was one important thing that Abraham Lincoln did? Picture your answer, then the cards will confirm it. If it came easily, great. If not, that is exactly what to watch for. This session covers wars fought in the 1900s, the presidents who led during World War I and during the Great Depression and World War II. Who the United States fought in World War II, Eisenhower's war as a general, and the Cold War's main concern. Question: name one war fought by the United States in the 1900s. The accepted answer is World War I, World War II, Korean War, Vietnam War, Persian Gulf War. A 1900s war. Easiest answer, World War II. Question: who was president during World War I? The accepted answer is Woodrow Wilson. Woodrow Wilson was president during World War I. Woodrow Wilson, WWI president. Question: who was president during the Great Depression and World War II? The accepted answer is Franklin Roosevelt. Franklin Roosevelt, FDR, Great Depression and World War II president. Franklin Roosevelt, FDR, Depression and World War II president. Question: who did the United States fight in World War II? The accepted answer is Japan, Germany, and Italy. WWW enemies: Japan, Germany, and Italy. Say all three in one breath. Japan, Germany, and Italy. Question: before he was president, Eisenhower was a general. What war was he in? The accepted answer is World War II. Eisenhower was a general in World War II. Question: during the Cold War, what was the main concern of the United States? The accepted answer is communism. Cold War concern, communism. One word, communism. The one-word Cold War answer. The trap in this module is swapping the war and president pairs. Woodrow Wilson was president during World War I. Franklin Roosevelt, not Theodore Roosevelt, was president during the Great Depression and World War II. And Eisenhower was a general in World War II, before he became president. Summary. The United States fought several wars in the 1900s. World War II is the easiest to remember. Woodrow Wilson was president during World War I. Franklin Roosevelt led during the Great Depression and World War II. In World War II, the United States fought Japan, Germany, and Italy. Eisenhower was a World War II general before becoming president. And the main concern during the Cold War was communism. Quick self-check before we drill the cards. Without looking, try to answer this in your head. Name one war fought by the United States in the 1900s. Picture your answer. Then the cards will confirm it. If it came easily, great. If not, that is exactly what to watch for. Let's lock it in. This session covers the Civil Rights Movement, what Martin Luther King Jr. did, the major event of September 11, 2001, and naming one American Indian tribe. Question: what movement tried to end racial discrimination? The accepted answer is Civil Rights Movement. The Civil Rights Movement tried to end racial discrimination. The Civil Rights Movement. Question: what did Martin Luther King Jr. do? The accepted answer is fought for civil rights, worked for equality for all Americans. Martin Luther King Jr. fought for civil rights and equality for all Americans. Civil rights leader, worked for equality for all Americans. Question: what major event happened on September 11, 2001, in the United States? The accepted answer is terrorists attacked the United States. September 11, 2001, terrorists attacked the United States. Terrorists attacked the United States. Question: name one American Indian tribe in the United States. USCIS officers will be supplied with a list of federally recognized American Indian tribes. The accepted answer is Cherokee, Navajo, Sioux, Chippewa, Choctaw, Pueblo, Apache, Iroquois, Creek, Blackfeet, Seminole, Cheyenne, Arawak, Shawnee, Mohegan, Huron, Oneida, Lakota, Crow, Teton, Hopi, Inuit. Name one tribe. Cherokee and Navajo are widely known. This 2008 list differs from the 2025 list. One name is enough. Cherokee and Navajo are widely known. This 2008 list differs from the 2025 Banks list. This module has one sharp trap. The only accepted answer for what happened on September 11, 2001, is the single sentence, terrorists attacked the United States. Say that whole sentence. And when naming an American Indian tribe, use this bank's own list. Cherokee and Navajo are both on it, and both widely known. Summary. The Civil Rights Movement tried to end racial discrimination, and Martin Luther King Jr. fought for civil rights and equality for all Americans. On September 11, 2001, terrorists attacked the United States. That is the whole accepted sentence. And you should be able to name one American Indian tribe, such as Cherokee. Quick self-check before we drill the cards. Without looking, try to answer this in your head. What did Martin Luther King Jr. do? Picture your answer, then the cards will confirm it. If it came easily, great. If not, that is exactly what to watch for. Let us lock it in. This session covers American geography. The two longest rivers, the oceans on the west and east coasts, a U.S. territory, states bordering Canada and Mexico, the capital of the United States, and where the Statue of Liberty is. Question: name one of the two longest rivers in the United States. The accepted answer is Missouri River or Mississippi River. The two longest rivers, Missouri and Mississippi, both start with Missi-Misso. Missouri or Mississippi. Either one is correct. Question: what ocean is on the west coast of the United States? The accepted answer is Pacific Ocean. Pacific Ocean is on the west coast. West coast equals Pacific. Question: what ocean is on the east coast of the United States? The accepted answer is Atlantic Ocean. Atlantic Ocean is on the east coast. East coast equals Atlantic. Question: name one U.S. territory. The accepted answer is Puerto Rico, U.S. Virgin Islands, American Samoa, Northern Mariana Islands, Guam. A U.S. territory, easiest, Puerto Rico. Question: name one state that borders Canada. The accepted answer is Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, Minnesota, North Dakota, Montana, Idaho, Washington, Alaska. States bordering Canada, easiest, New York, or your own border state. One is enough, New York, or your own state, if it borders Canada. Question. Name one state that borders Mexico. The accepted answer is California, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas. Only 4 states border Mexico. California, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas. Only 4. California, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas. Question. What is the capital of the United States? The accepted answer is Washington, D.C. The U.S. capital is Washington, D.C., not Washington State. Washington, D.C. Say D.C., not Washington State. Question. Where is the Statue of Liberty? The accepted answer is New York Harbor, Liberty Island. Also acceptable are New Jersey, near New York City, and on the Hudson River. The Statue of Liberty is in New York Harbor, on Liberty Island. New York Harbor, Liberty Island. 2 traps in this module. Keep the Pacific on the west coast and the Atlantic on the east coast straight. And remember, the capital of the United States is Washington, D.C., not New York City, and not the state of Washington. Also, Puerto Rico is a territory, not a state. Summary. The 2 longest rivers in the United States are the Missouri and the Mississippi. The Pacific Ocean is on the west coast, and the Atlantic Ocean is on the east coast. Puerto Rico is one example of a U.S. territory. Only 4 states border Mexico: California, Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas. The capital of the United States is Washington, D.C., and the Statue of Liberty is in New York Harbor, on Liberty Island. Drill the deck. Quick self-check before we drill the cards. Without looking, try to answer this in your head. What is the capital of the United States? Picture your answer. Then the cards will confirm it. If it came easily, great. If not, that is exactly what to watch for. This closing civics session covers the American flag's stripes and stars, the name of the national anthem, when we celebrate Independence Day, and naming 2 national U.S. holidays. Question. Why does the flag have 13 stripes? The accepted answer is because there were 13 original colonies. Because the stripes represent the original colonies. 13 stripes represent the 13 original colonies. 13 stripes equals 13 original colonies. Question. Why does the flag have 50 stars? The accepted answer is because there is 1 star for each state. Because each star represents a state. Because there are 50 states. 50 stars represent the 50 states. 50 stars equals 50 states. Question. What is the name of the national anthem? The accepted answer is the Star-Spangled Banner. The national anthem is the Star-Spangled Banner. The Star-Spangled Banner. Practice saying it slowly. Question. When do we celebrate Independence Day? The accepted answer is July 4th. Independence Day is July 4th, same date the Declaration was adopted. July 4th, the country's birthday, adopted July 4th, 1776, same date as Q63. Question. Name 2 national U.S. holidays. The accepted answer is New Year's Day, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, President's Day, Memorial Day, Independence Day, Labor Day, Columbus Day, Veterans Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas. 2 national holidays, easy pair. New Year's Day and Independence Day. No Juneteenth in this 2008 list. Pick an easy 2. New Year's Day plus Independence Day. Note, Juneteenth is not on this 2008 list. It is a 2025 bank answer only. The sharpest trap in this whole bank lives here. Juneteenth is not an acceptable answer on this 2008 list of national holidays. It only appears on the newer 2025 bank. Also remember, 13 stripes stand for the 13 original colonies, the past. 50 stars stand for the 50 states, the present. And the national anthem is the Star-Spangled Banner. Summary. The flag has 13 stripes for the 13 original colonies, and 50 stars, 1 for each state. The national anthem is the Star-Spangled Banner. We celebrate Independence Day on July 4th. And you should be able to name 2 national U.S. holidays from this bank's own list. New Year's Day and Independence Day are an easy pair. That completes the civics content. The flashcard deck will drill all 16 modules together. Quick self-check before we drill the cards. Without looking, try to answer this in your head. Why does the flag have 50 stars? Picture your answer. Then the cards will confirm it. If it came easily, great. If not, that is exactly what to watch for. Let us lock it in.